Hidden deep within the steamy swamps of Louisiana lay a town called Chapel Hollow. It wasn't forgotten, nor was it the kind of place you'd stumble upon by accident, just quietly small. The kind of town with just enough life to keep its rhythm, a school or two, a single grocery store, and a mayor whose name everyone knew, but whose face no one ever seemed to recall. It was a place where strangers were rare, and people still raised a hand in greeting as you passed, like a ritual that time hadn't yet worn away. Life there moved slow. Old porches creaked under rocking chairs. Spanish moss dangled like ghosts from the trees, and summer never really left. Most folks stayed their whole lives. Few ever arrived by accident. On the edge of Main Street, nestled between a collapsing barber shop and a boarded-up diner, stood a narrow antique store. No one could remember when it opened or if it had a name. The wooden sign above the door had long ago faded into splinters. It didn't advertise. It didn't close. It just was. Dust clung to its bricks like skin, and vines curled up around the frame like they were trying to pull it back into the earth. Its large display window was strangely spotless, always clear, always perfect. But the glass had an odd, unsettling trait that residents noticed but never spoke about out loud. It didn't reflect anything. You could walk past it at noon with the sun beating down and see nothing. No people, no passing cars, no trees or clouds, just darkness, as if the store had swallowed light itself. People chalked it up to a trick of the glass, something about the angle or old material. That's what they told themselves anyway. Nobody lingered long enough to question it, until a YouTuber named Dave Morrison did. Dave was based in New York City. His channel, American Oddities, chased obscure mysteries and modern folklore. Late one night, scrolling through a thread about places that feel wrong, he found a blurry photo with the caption, "The window that doesn't know you're there." The image was grainy, low-res, taken on an overcast day. But something about it made his stomach twist. He booked a flight the next morning. After landing in New Orleans, Dave drove for hours through the wet, breathing wilds of Louisiana until he reached Chapel Hollow. He was surprised to find that it wasn't some ghost town. It was lived in, if tired. A town clinging to tradition. Families on porches, kids on bikes. A slow, sticky peace. But when he arrived at the antique shop, a chill ran through him. It looked exactly like the photo. Same leaning frame, same forgotten walls, same dark window. He approached with his phone ready, hit record, and stopped cold. There in the glass was his own reflection. He froze. It was impossible. Everything he'd read said the window didn't reflect anything. But there he was, clear as day, blinking, sweating, stunned. He glanced behind himself. A man was walking a dog. A woman passed on her phone. They moved behind him. But in the glass, they were gone. Only Dave remained. He stepped forward. Still there. Back again. Still just him. A knot of fear and wonder twisted in his chest. The bell above the door jingled as he stepped inside. The air was stale and thick, like a cellar sealed for decades. Rows of shelves were packed with strange objects, clocks that ticked without rhythm, yellowed books in languages he couldn't recognize, cracked mirrors, music boxes that whispered instead of played. Behind the counter stood an elderly man with silver braids, bronze skin, and a stare that held too much silence. Native American, maybe. His presence was heavy, like gravity. Dave approached, still shaken. "The window," he said. "I saw myself. Just me." No one else. The old man said nothing for a long moment. Then he looked up, slow and deliberate. You saw it? His voice was quiet, but something in it vibrated the air. Dave nodded. You weren't supposed to. Not yet. The man reached under the counter and placed something on the wood. A small, hand-carved idol, smooth and faceless. My people told of this, he said. A man who would come and see what others could not. He would be marked. And when the time came, only he would understand the warning. Dave tried to laugh. I'm just a guy with a camera. This is probably just some weird old glass, right? The man's face didn't change. You've been chosen, he said. And the date will find you. Back in New York, Dave tried to laugh it all off, told himself it was folklore, trick glass, a gimmick. He posted a short video about the place, but it barely made a ripple online. Then came the dreams. Every night, without fail. Screaming winds, floodwaters rising to the ceiling, shadows twisting beneath the surface. And always, one number echoed in his mind. June 6th, he started seeing it in real life, on street signs, in news broadcasts, in receipts and timestamps. It followed him, whispered to him, until the day finally came. On June 6th, he turned on the TV. Breaking news out of Louisiana. His chest locked up. The town of Chapel Hollow has been completely destroyed by a sudden, violent hurricane and flash flooding. There were no survivors. Gone, all of it. The people, the shops, the antique store. Dave collapsed on the couch and stared at the screen long after it went dark. He had been warned, and he had done nothing. Years passed. He moved across the country, settled in a quiet Oregon town, and got a job as a local newspaper reporter. No more mystery hunts, no more strange windows. He avoided mirrors when he could. One drizzly afternoon, walking home on a street he didn't recognize, he passed a narrow storefront. He didn't notice it at first, just a glance in the rain. But something tugged at the back of his mind. He stopped, turned around. There it was, the antique store. Same ivy-choked bricks, same faded sign, same spotless glass. And in the window, looking back at him, his reflection. He turned around. People passed behind him. Cars drove by. But in the glass, they weren't there. Only him. The bell jingled. He stepped inside. He thought it was over. But the window never lies. If this story unsettled you, leave a like and let the shadows know. Subscribe for more tales you shouldn't hear after dark. And if you've seen something you can't explain, tell us in the comments. We're always listening.